fans, this is Kurt O'Ville with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Don King. Only in America, baby. Michael Hunter, Jarrell Miller, and Kubrat Pulev. Get this. According to Don King is looking to stop Michael Hunter versus Jarrell Miller. He states that promoter Don King has issued a cease and desist order to Sella and TKO Group Holdings, who are aiming to put on the fight between Jarrell Big Baby Miller and Michael Hunter on September 11th as part of the Canelo versus Crawford Fight Week events. Okay, King says that he still has a valid contract with Hunter, and we've seen in the exact sort of instance many times was apparently not involved in making of this fight. King's biggest issue is that he won a purse bid for the rights to fight between Hunter and prevent the WBA title holder Kubrat Pulev, which he would assumably put on somewhere in Florida in one of the rare in modern times that King actually promotes a boxing event. And this is what he said, King Promotions or Productions. He said, they continue to disobey the WBA in its clear directive of the Pulev-Hunter championship fight, said King. Hunter is under contract to Don King Productions, and he'll be fighting for the world championship. Snark aside, if King has a contract with Hunter, he and his team have a pretty decent history of preventing things like this. And if he does have a valid contract with Hunter, he'd certainly have a point legally. Those are the words of Don Productions. And let me counterpunch. Well, first off, Don King he's known for that type of stuff. You know, he's known for legal battles, and he's known to win legal battles. He's lost some as well. I remember the Felix Trinidad situation where he owed Trinidad millions and he got it. However, Trinidad did fight with him for the next 2 or 3 years, you know, and that was squashed, you know, the Mike Tyson incident and the Holyfield and all that stuff, you know, William Joppy, the list goes on and on. But lately, in the last five to 10 years, at least 15 even, Don King has not been or had the reputation that he's had before. But Michael Hunter, he's constantly getting in these situations. Because remember 4 years ago with Eddie Hearn, he won a purse bid against Filip Hrgovic, which he had to fight somewhere in Europe. And he didn't want to fight in Europe, but he won the purse bid. He won the purse bid, just like he won with Pulev, and he got out of that fight, which is not showing a good track record on your own personal preference on why you wanted to leave. It had nothing to do with business. It had everything to do with his preference. So Don King, I don't think would care about his preference. He cares about what you signed. Because you know Don King, if he did some stuff like, hey, just sign your name and we'll fill in the rest later. If he has something like that in play, there's no telling what he's added or could manipulate to win. But if Michael Hunter signed with Don King and they won a purse bid, he probably has to, unfortunately, honor it. Because Don King has went after the holding companies that are financing this fight. So that fight might not happen, and I know Michael Hunter saying like, well, look, dude, we supposed to fought on the 20th. And it never took place on Don King's birthday, because that was the whole, it was an event that was supposed to happen that got pushed back. Now, I don't even know when it got pushed back to. Most importantly, I don't think Michael Hunter know when. So we don't know when or even why it got pushed back. So if you're Michael Hunter, you're like, okay, well, obviously it didn't happen when it's supposed to happen, So do I hang around or do I take a fight with a colleague of mine for some cash? I'm a prize fighter, so I'm going to fight for the money. So I do understand Michael Hunter's side as well. But then you have Don King over here saying, no, no, no. You signed a contract with me. You got to honor the contract. We went through the purse bid, through the WBA rules and regulations, and we've won. So guess what? Whenever that fight has to happen, it has to happen. But if it doesn't have any date, and if the shit gets pushed back to like October or November, why can't Michael Hunter fight? So I do understand that. It sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me, honestly, because if you are supposed to work on a particular time and you signed a contract to fight a particular fighter, that contract has a particular date on it. And that date is supposed to be valid according to what you signed. Well, if the date is not the same, that means the contract shouldn't be the same. So it's a lot to deal with this particular issue. Okay, and it depends on, you know, probably the quote unquote mediator. And you remember the last time we heard that word was with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. And you remember how that went. Everyone, including Bob Arum, was saying that that fight was expired, and it's expired contract. It's not valid, right? But that's what happened. Okay, and in this situation, it's like, okay, well, you know, if you think it's expired, well, I think you need to take a look at that, because they ended up fighting, and Deontay Wilder did win his time in court and did get his third fight with Tyson the Gypsy King. So there you go. So, I mean, it's up in the air. You guys tell me what you think of Don King looking to shut down Jarrell Miller versus Michael Hunter on the week before Canelo versus Crawford. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.